What up, what's popping? This shit all breeze from Fahrenheit 451, part of the Fourth and Goal Network. We're burning the books alive, back with my best bets in the NBA for today, February 24th. First up from the Toronto Raptors, I'll be taking CMB. Colin Murray boils under his 1 3-pointer made. He's under this line in his last 17 out of 18 games, pairing this with Dyson Daniels from the Atlanta Hawks under his 1 3-pointer made. He's under this line in his last 17 out of 20 games. Colin Murray boils under 1 3-pointer. Dyson Daniels under 1 3-pointer parlayed together. Minus 130 odds over on Bet365, risking 1.3 units on this one to win 1 unit back. Next, from the New York Knickerbockers, Landry Shamet. Damn it. Landry Shamet over his 9 points, minus 118 odds over on FanDuel, risking 1.18 units on this one to win 1 unit back. Here I go, betting on a bench player again, pretty much signing my death certificate. Shamet over this line in his last 5 games and in his last 8 out of 10 games, 15 and 9 points in his last 2 games versus Cleveland. In his last 10 games, he has 21 minutes played or more in each of them. In his last 8 out of 10 games, he has 7 field goals attempted in each of them. When he has 7 field goals attempted or more, he is over this line in his last 14 out of 16 games, averaging 15 points. When he has 21 minutes played or more, he is over this line in his last 16 out of 20 games, averaging 13 points. 38% of his points are scored at the above the break 3. Cleveland allows the 6th most above the break 3s. Next, if not he, then who? Gui Santos of the Golden State Warriors over his 14 points, minus 105 odds over on Bet365. Gui Santos over this line in his last 2 and in his last 7 out of 10 games, 7 field goals attempted in his last 10 games and 9 field goals attempted in his last 7 out of 10 games. When he has 7 field goals attempted or more, he is over this line in his last 8 out of 10 games with 1 hook. When he has 9 field goals attempted or more, he's over this line in his last 5 out of 7 games, averaging 14.6 points this season. Beautiful matchup. 33% of his points are scored from the above the break 3. 40% of his points are scored at the net. The New Orleans Pelicans allows the 2nd most above the break 3s and the 2nd most points scored at the net. Next, from the New Orleans Pelicans, we're going to keep it right here. Saddiq Bey, Freaky Saddiq. Saddiq Bey of the New Orleans Pelicans over his 15 points. I liked his original line at 19, but it started moving away from me. So I said, you know what? I know exactly what we'll do. Saddiq Bey over his 15 points, 20 points scored or more in 4 out of 4 games without Trey Murphy. The third this season, 21 points in his last game versus Golden State Warriors. Trey Murphy did not play in that one. 14 field goal attempts or more in 3 out of 4 games without Trey Murphy this season. When he has 14 field goal attempts or more, he is over this line in his last 7 out of 10 games, averaging 23.4 points. I paired that with the man on fire himself, Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics, over his 18 points. Now, I had looked at Peyton Pritchard over his points before Jaylen Brown got ruled out. And when Jaylen Brown got ruled out, the line just skyrocketed. However, I believe the line was at 18.5 before 18.5 or 19.5 before Jaylen Brown got ruled out. So we're pretty much just taking the line at what it was before JB got ruled out. Peyton Pritchard, 20 points or more in his last 5 out of 5 games without Jaylen Brown. 16 field goal attempts in his last 5 games without Jaylen Brown. Hitting this line in his last 19 out of 20 games when he has 16 field goal attempts or more, averaging 26 points. Next, from the Milwaukee Bucks, absolutely love this play, absolutely hate this player. Miles Turner over his 12 points, minus 125 odds over on Ballybet. You can pretty much get that 125 across the board. Miles over this line in his last 7 out of 10 games, 22 and 24 points in his last 2 games versus Miami on 12 and 15 field goal attempts. When he has 12 field goal attempts or more, he has hit this line in his last 14 out of 16 games, averaging 18 points. 50% of his points are scored from the above the break 3. Miami allows the 4th most above the break 3s. Lost my place, my bad. 23% of his points are scored at the net. Miami allows the 11th most points at the net. Let's keep it right here. From the Milwaukee Buckers again, I'm going to be taking double Aura Ryan Rollins of the Milwaukee Bucks over his 18 points. Minus 120 odds over on Bet365, I believe. Hitting this line in his last 8 out of 10 games, 21 points or more in each of those 8 games, 26 points in his last game versus Miami. Fun fact, in his last game versus Miami, the man shot 14 threes. 15 field goal attempts or more in his last 9 out of 10 games. When he has 15 field goals attempted or more, he is hitting this line in his last 16 out of 18 games, averaging 23.7 points. Last but not least, I'm taking Jaden McDaniels over his 5 rebounds, plus 110 odds over on the Score Bet, formerly ESPN Bet, formerly what was it? Damn, I know what it was too. Damn, I can't think of what that sports book was called before ESPN off the top of my head. Anyways, Jalen McDaniels over his 5 rebounds, plus 110 odds over on the Score Bet. Felt like it started with a P. I'm going to have to Google it after this. Jaden McDaniels, excuse me, not his brother. 5, 6, 8, and 6 rebounds in his last 4 games. 5 and 6 rebounds in his last 2 games versus the Minnesota T-Wolves on 9 and 9 rebound chances. When he has 9 rebound chances or more, he is hitting this line in his last 19 out of 23 games this season, averaging 5.7 rebounds. So let's recap it at the 7:15 mark. All right. To recap, I took and parlayed these 2 guys together. Colin Murray Boyles under his 1 3-pointer, Dyson Daniels under his 1 3-pointer, minus 130, Bet365. Then I went and took Landry Shamet of the New York Knickerbockers over his 9 points. After that, I took Guy Santos of the Golden State Warriors over his 14 points. Then I ran another 2-legger kegger, Sadiki Freaky Bay over his 15 points, paired with the assassin Peyton Pritchard over his 18 points, minus 110 over on FanDuel. Next, we went to the Milwaukee Buckers and we ran Miles Turner over his 12 points. I would not be surprised if he scores 20 points tonight. And then we took Ryan Rollins over his 18 points and we rounded it out with something from the late game, Jaden McDaniels over his 5 rebounds. For King of the Court, man, I'm probably just going to take Luka. This seems like one of those Luka King of the Court Tuesdays. I'm probably just going to take Luka over his 32 points and try to get, be cool with my little $40 in bonus bets. If you guys, let me know who you guys are taking for King of the Court. I really didn't see anything that stuck out. I feel like if it's not Luka, whoever you pick, and if they win it, the bonus bets are going to be crazy. Like, comment, and subscribe for your daily sports betting videos and analysis. Let's keep burning them. As always, I will see you tomorrow. If you would like access to all of my plays as soon as I place them for just 16 cents a day, subscribe to the Patreon. I will link that down below. Love, peace, and fish grease. Let's continue to run up these units. If you are not in the Patreon, make sure you follow me over on Twitter at F4 FIDDY and the number 1, just like the YouTube page. I will be dropping a few looks over there before these games start. It is 4:51 my time. The first game started at 5:10 my time. I have nothing in those first few games. The plays that I have don't start until 5:40. So we pretty much have an hour, 50 minutes, 49. Pretty much have an hour to get all of my plays in and, whatever else I'm going to drop on the timeline. All right. Love, peace, and fish grease. Let's continue to run up these units. I holla.